What happens when people slow down and stop? It's like putting the classic car that's been running for years and throwing it in the garage, and they stop using it. And all of a sudden, Don, the battery gives out, and the car's as good as dead. There's nothing more important than keeping your brain active, keeping your brain challenged. I remember many years ago, I asked JR, hey, what do you think about, I think it was just 2 years ago. It wasn't many years ago. It was a couple years ago. I said, what are you most afraid of as we get older? He said, I don't want to lose my brain. I want to keep my brain active, which is probably why he worked all the time. Even when he pretended to be watching a movie with us, he would constantly be working. Let me tell you something. Your brain's a muscle, and if you don't work it, it'll atrophy, and you'll lose function. Get the car out of the garage and go back to work. Get the car out of the garage and go back to work. Think about it. Are you really doing exactly what you need to do? Are you doing all you can do? This was asked by one of Team Philadelphia the other day. Are you doing all that you could do, or could you be doing more? What do you think? Could you be doing more? I could do more. Can you do more? Can we do more? I can't hear you. So instead of slowing down or retiring, how about get out of bed in the morning? Do something that excites you. Embrace the idea of meeting new people, learning new skills, having new experiences. You know, one of the things about Elizabeth and I and JR back in the day is we loved learning. Still do. Go to every meeting like it was our first. We couldn't wait to go. We were the first ones there. Last ones to leave. You remember those days, Elizabeth? We had a hell of a lot of fun. And it's just beginning. And we're going to keep going. And I want you to discover a side of you that you've never seen before. The side of you that all you have to do is change your thinking from working because you have to into working because you want to. Because we're builders and creators, and we need a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Do you understand that? And you know, there was something I was thinking about the other day with Andrew. I was thinking about how cool it would be if we could, or Jim and I were talking about it, if we could get seniors to really think about how cool it would be for you to focus on this business. I mean, after 65 years old, the first thing you need to do is focus on you. What about taking all those years of networks, contacts, and get out of the house and start turning your days into a real business and start working for you? Let me tell you something. 60 is the new 40. When you think about it, 40 is the new 60. Think about that. We're living longer than any time in history. Here's the thing. We can live longer and we can live better by taking some of our great products. And here's the thing, it's totally up to you. And guess what? If you think about getting the car out of the garage, you probably need to never worry about making enough money and never have to worry about Social Security, that's for sure. Let me tell you about Social Security, by the way. I have experience with it. My husband paid millions of dollars into Social Security. Millions. Not that this company needs the money, nor did I. But I figured I wanted to get the money from Social Security as I'm entitled to and either make a donation or put it away for my kids one day. And when we called for it, you can ask Angel, and I don't know where he is. Angel told me that Social Security said, sorry, I make too much money. Now, let me tell you something. Social Security took my husband's money and couldn't afford to pay it, and that's not fair. That's wrong. That is absolute crap. Do not worry about Social Security because it ain't going to be there for you either. So you better start making some money to take care of your future. You got to drop the cane. You got to drop the cane and stop acting old. You got to get busy. You got to get busy. You got to get busy. Let me tell you something. That was a wake-up call, Elizabeth, a wake-up call. If you're lucky, listen to this. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. If you're lucky, James, you're going to grow old. And if you're very, very lucky, you're going to grow so old, Ben, that when people talk about you, They're going to be surprised to hear that you're still around. And let me tell you something. Everyone wants to stay alive and be younger, but we know that's not possible. No matter what you look like on the outside, even take OPC3 and all the things, you'll stay younger longer, but will eventually look older on the outside. But let me tell you something. The only alternative to growing older is being dead. It's a fact. So grow old, but don't get old. Grow old, but don't get old. Growing old means you're growing. Growing old means you're growing. Grow old, don't get old. Pull the car out of the garage. Fuel it back up and turn it back on. My hope is that you find your future self. Move on from all that doesn't serve you. And just because it already took your time doesn't mean you need to continue letting it steal your time. Maybe your identity right this moment isn't the same as it is tomorrow. And today is the end of yesterday. Stop sleeping on yourself. Stop playing small to fit in. Stop feeling about outgrown people. Break up with them. You're great. You're it. It's not only about making the money. It's about the freedom. Money doesn't buy happiness. I know that myself personally. Money does not buy happiness, but poverty can't buy shit. It can't buy shit. And let me tell you something. You got to stop comparing yourself to others. Every time you see me, I will be better than me yesterday. It is me against me. The fight is in your mind. I'm going to do it imperfectly. I'm not going to do it for perfection. I'm going to stop waiting for it to be perfect. And if you want permission, I'm giving it to you right now. This is your life. It's time for you to get started. Own your future.